Nze nava mukono okuja mumbale. Yaja wange yafa nenvayo. Nze kyanzija waka. Nze navayo bubi. Okuja okunyumira obulamu bwa street.
Abaana bano balumbibwa nnyo endwadde. Katugeze ng'endwadde za buligita.
Alright, ago ge maloboozi ag'abaana abawangalira ku nguudo z'Embale era nga basobola okuba nga ate bakyalengako ko naffe experiences zaabwe ze bayitamu naddala nga bali ku street. Olunaku olwaleero ekitongole ekya Child at Risk Network ekikuŋŋaanya organizations zonna ezigezaako okuba nga ate ziyamba abaana naddala abali ku nguudo kivuddeyo ne kijja Embale okusobola okuba nga ate boogerako ne ba stakeholders ab'enjawulo basobole okuba nga ate balaba engeri gye basobola okuba nga ate bamitigatingamu bo okuyamba abaana bano okuba nga ate bava ku nguudo. Muno mu meeting eno olukiiko luno lubaddemu abakungu ab'enjawulo aba city babaddemu, abakungu ba CRO babaddemu, saako n'adduumira police mu Elgon region afande Otim Bosco naye asobola okuba nga ate alubeeramu era nga asobola okuba nga ate ayogerakoko n'abaana bano ne bamubuulira ku bizibu ebimu ku ebyo bye bayitamu oba ekibaviirako okuva ewaka basobole okuba nga ate bajja ku street. Ekimu ku ebyo kwe kuba nti abamu abazadde baabwe bambi baafa naye abamu abazadde we bali naye bayita mu kutulugunyizibwa okw'enjawulo, abamu yadde abazadde we bali naye abamu basigazaako omuzadde omu naye nga kusigaza omuzadde omu embeera n'ekalubamu ne basobola okuba nga ate bavaayo ne badda ku street. So Mbale City Council egenda kuba evaayo ne ordinance egenda okuba nga ate eregulatinga abazadde kuba bagamba nti abazadde musuuliridde nnyo abaana ekiviiriddeko okuba nga ate bajja ku nguudo kuba osanga nti ku street za Mbale oyinza okusanga omwana nga wa myaka 5, myaka 6, myaka 10 ng'ali ku nguudo, ekintu ekyewuulabe ennyo era nga bagamba nti okusuulirira ennyo abaana bano kibaviiriddeko okuba nga ate boonooneka oluusi ne bajja ku nguudo. So bebaddewo wano tugenda kuba tukutuusaako enjogera zonna ez'abakulu kw'ossa ne Kembabazi ononno nga yatwala ekitongole kya Crane ekigezaako okuba nga ate kikuŋŋaanya organizations zonna okuba nga ate zirwana okuba nga ate zintegrating abaana bano bave ku nguudo basobola okuba nga ate baddayo ewaka saako n'okuba nti bakola sensitization eri abazadde basobola okuba nga ate beddako mu ngeri gye bayisaamu abaana bano n'engeri gye babakwatamu olw'oluvannyuma embeera esobola okuba nga ate eteerera. Katukugatte ku bakulu bano boogerekoko naffe ku Mbale Express TV.
Over 16,000 children are living and working on the streets in Kampala. In fact, it is said that from 1993 to date, there has been over a 70% increase of children coming to the streets. Have you heard that? Have you heard that? From 1993 to date, there's been over 70% increase of children living and working on the streets. This morning, this afternoon, we are here in Mbale City having a conversation that we have had each and every year since 2012. From 2012, every year we have had this conversation where we want government, we want communities, we want the cities, we want everybody to realize that we committed to leaving no child behind, including the children who are living and working on the streets. So from 2012, we've been having this conversation about this particular group of children who are living and working on the streets. And this afternoon, we're going to have a specific conversation because this year, at the international level, it was agreed that as organizations, we shall ensure that we have a conversation on the participation of children. It is a global phenomenon that child participation is important. In fact, the National Child's Policy, which is the government policy Ministry of Gender, puts one of the key pillars of the implementation of the child policy as child participation. And if I say every child should participate, we should not exclude the children living and working on the streets. I also want to remind us and just point that in 2017, a general comment at the United Nations was given. A general comment is called General Comment 21 on children in street situations. And the summary of this comment is that that the comment says that every child, that the Convention on the Rights of the Child recognizes that every child needs to be protected. And in a special way, they recognize the children living and working on the streets or the children in street situations. And this general comment goes ahead to give guidance to the government, to both the duty bearers and the non-duty bearers. The duty bearers, those being the state, the non-duty bearers being us in the civil society, in the communities. And they give us clarity on the role we need to play to ensure that every child, including these children, have a right to be protected and have a right to be planned for and have a right to develop, survive, promote their rights, and ensure that even when they're in the street situations, we do everything possible to ensure that these children are withdrawn, are taken through rehabilitation, are resettled at home. And even when they're on the streets, how do we make sure they access a service that will ensure that their life is not lost? We have lost too many children along the way. Joining me this afternoon to have this discussion that will lead us into a broader discussion and possibly come out with a headway, and we can have a report submitted to the PS and the Minister of Gender, Labour and Social Development. Let me just also clarify, although we're in Mbale City, this is our national conversation. Last year, we were in Jinja, we had a conversation in Jinja. The previous years, we have always been in Kampala. And we want to take this conversation to every city where we are seeing the phenomenon of children living and working on the streets increase. And coming to join me on the panel, I have a very, very big, healthy panel. Starting with none other than, I call them the people that give us a reason for being here, the children. Some of these have been rescued, and some of these are still on the streets. And there's work around having them withdrawn. There are others who are going through rehabilitation, and there are also those who went through the rehabilitation and have made it, and we may want to hear from them. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to invite the most important people for today, our children, starting with the one and only Sam Weteka. Please, Sam, come and take your seat. Now, if you do not clap, our probation officer suggests whoever doesn't clap doesn't get lunch. Yes. Because this is, please continue clapping for Sam, make him feel warmly welcome, so that he can sit comfortably and know that he is safe in a safe place. Please. Anywhere you want to sit, just choose any of the seats. If you even want to come and sit next to me up here, you can come up. We also are going to be joined by a lady who is none other than Mutesi. Mutesi, please come. Now, if you're looking at her properly, she resembles the Vice President, so you better clap properly. We will also be joined by Reverend Derek Mutu. This is not a child, but we just welcome him. We are looking in a category of children today. So my principle is until he reaches here, we continue to clap. Yes, thank you very much. These are the ones who are going to be representing the children who have had an experience on the streets. The second group person I want to invite to my panel has been our master of ceremony, but allow me to strip off those titles and call him as one of the panelists, Mr. Wanzira Dominic. Please.
Our probation officers and those assigned to do youth work in the district and in the city. And during our interactions with the technical leadership, especially the town clerk and the district chief administrative officer of Mbale, issues of street children came on table. and we had a lengthy discussion. Mbale as a district is concerned, and the town clerk heading the technical team of the city was also concerned. So during our discussions, we were informed that you are planning to have a celebration for street children. And one of our roles as Minister of Gender is to guide this country on matters concerning children. We advise the town clerk and the cow that as a ministry, we are not behind the celebration of children on the streets. Because as the government of Uganda, we want children in homes. When I say homes, I mean where the father and the mother is. We want to see children in a loving, nurturing, and protective environment. The street is not a protective environment. The street is not a nurturing environment. And children on the streets are on their own. The town clerk understood us, and the chief administrative officer also understood us, and even our colleagues, the probation officers. So there were a lot of calls in between, and finally we were visited by my colleague here. I've known her for the last 8 years, Madam Faith Kembabazi, about the same. And we guided that if it is a dialogue, please go ahead. Let's dialogue about this with people who matter, the key stakeholders in Mbale district and Mbale city, so that we come up with the best way of handling the problem in Mbale. So I want to thank you, our partners, for supporting this activity. And I also want to thank the leadership of Mbale, both the city and the district, for understanding what Minister of Gender told you. Thank you so much. In 1995, this country enacted a constitution. And that constitution has a chapter, and in that chapter 4, we have rights about children and other vulnerable members of society. In that constitution, there is an article that talks about vulnerable children being given special attention, special care, and protection. I see street children as people who are vulnerable and need our attention as government. The very constitution provided for the establishment of the decentralized type of governance, where powers are transferred from the center to the cities, to the districts, to the municipalities, the divisions, and the sub-counties. And it's because of that we have the 1997 Local Government Act that put in place the cities and the districts and the divisions. That very law of 1997 Local Government Act decentralizes child care and protection. Child care and protection is not in the hands of the center. Child care and protection is in the hands of the local governments.
Protect yourself before a police officer protects you. Our numbers are few. The children in the street may outnumber us. What do? Let's find the best way of addressing this, and then we shall rescue our Mbale city. Somebody talked about, I think my sister there, putting resources together so that we see where you can resources. I mean, both physical resources, the plans. If you have something you can share with the city, how do we get out of this? Please don't sit there. Let's do it together, and we get out of this. Let's put resources together, experiences together. If you talk of experiences, the person from the ministry knows everything about children living in the street. The only thing is the will and resources to address. If the resources are not there, how do we source to make sure that we get out of this kind of situation? I want to request the partners, as you come up with the good plans, you can offer food to a child. Let us offer education as the food for tomorrow to our children. Let whatever you do, education should be integral part of all the activities. And for me, my brother from the ministry, if you see one who is coming with that kind of element, fronting this and anchored also education there, please give a tick and let them go ahead. Educate these children. And that is why we have been able to see the Reverend. We have been able to see my sister here. Reverend, I want to call upon you that where the resources does not allow, if you would organize children from the street, let these people help you. Organize these children from the street. One day, maybe we provide them lunch and water. One day, I'll not put on uniform. And you'll be the guest. Invite other person like her. Let her leave the job and come. We talk to them. If there are 200, we may change the life of 10. Please, let's do this. And that is where I'm ending. I believe that you all said what you wanted to say. Now, with the powers entrusted upon me, I have the honor to adjourn this gathering. Thank you so much for God and my country. It is not good to run away from home because you feel you have been abused. Because you will not get help. Report. Report so that you can get the help. And when you report, you don't run away from home. Okay, number 2, beaten by the family members. I can tell you, I can't count how many times I was beaten from home. And I did not run away from home. That cannot make you run away from home. The only thing is report, report, and report. How many girls are here, those who are below 18? Abawala. I can see one girl here. Why is it that girls are few and there are so many boys? I am asking you questions. I want you to be remembering the questions I'm asking. Why is it that there are few girls and there are so many boys? Why is it that there are so many boys and few girls? That means the abuse that you are running from home, it is so much happening in town. the kind of abuse you are running away from, it is many times more than what is happening home, in the street. People are beating you at street. People are abusing you in street. You are sleeping without food. Rain is on you. You fall sick. Nobody is supposed to take care of you. So, it is wrong to be in the street. No school fees. We shall need to know how many people came to street because there is no school fees at home. Then we also see. You have lost money. They sent you to go and buy soap. The money got lost. And then you decide to run away.
My name is Faith Kembabazi. I am the Director of Children at Risk Action Network. As you hear, it is a network. And so we network other organizations that work with children in general. But in this instance, we have networked organizations that work with organizations that work with children who live and work on the street. Because we have a phenomena in Uganda, as the government puts it, of children living on the street. There is a corridor of children that are trafficked, and that is children from Napak and Karamoja areas that are trafficked to Kampala. In some areas of Mbale, Iganga, Soroti, and so all those, we've been trying to find ways of encouraging them to get off the street, go back to school, or go back home. And so our engagement with government today in Mbale was due to the commemoration of the International Day of the Children Connected to the Street. We were going to march through the street and talk to the public, but the government advised us to have a dialogue with the city. Of course, the city is surrounded by other people, and so we want to make sure that the government understands what the CSOs have in mind, and we work together to make sure we are solving this problem. And we work together to make sure that this problem is solved, but in a child-friendly way. That is our issue, that the government sometimes takes children off the street by force, but we want to work with them to say CSOs are ready as social workers to teach them how to look after these children in a child-friendly manner. The other issue is to understand children on the street. They come from families that are broken because of violence, because of absentee fathers. 80% of the children are because there are no fathers to look after, there is no role model. So the government has got to teach parenting in a better way, make parents responsible for the children that run away from them. But also our prayer is that government can budget better for the children connected to the street. Because there is very little money. There is very little money in government that is directed at the Ministry of Gender, that is directed at helping children go to school, helping children in families that are broken. Our social welfare system is not perfect. And so we are asking government to budget and make sure they are investing in the children that are half the country, that represent half the country. We as CSOs get money from donors, but even that money is becoming limited. So how does our government take over? How does our government come in and make sure its children is looked after before we abandon them and their future? Because they are the government leaders of tomorrow. Okay? So those are our aims as civil society organizations. We work to take off the children off the street, rehabilitate them, and take them back. But we work with a system that is very not given money, not financed well, that you have to give the police money to take the children home. So there is something missing there. Well, most of the common challenges are finances. As we have seen, the international world has retracted money, like the US and other countries are now putting money into their countries. So we have less donor money coming in. So that is one. But we also have got to understand each other with government so that the government doesn't think we are competing with them. We're just working hand in hand with them to make sure that these children go off the street. So some of those, we have many others, but those are major challenges that we face.
What are you looking at in the next 2 years to come? When will the fight be?
Well, better budgeting, that we can take this all the way to Parliament if necessary. We want to make sure there is a strategy, that we understand the government strategy for these children. Is it child friendly? That we continue to get funding, whether from the donor world, the church, so that we are able to help with the children of Uganda and make sure that we have a better organization, a better generation of children in the future that have become adults and are responsible. Thank you too.
Okusokera ddala gange nze John Muganda nga ndiwo okwogerera abaana b'oku nguudo n'obbabudaabuda. Challenges tuzze tulaba ezijja abaana baneeka, obwenkanya tebuliiwo mu famire. Ng'ebiseera ebisinga okwawukana mu maka kye bayita divorce, kuba ennamba esinga obungi abaana be tulina bazadde baabwe baayawukana. Ekirala, abaana bano tebamanyiddwako bakitaabwe nga bakulidde bukojja. Ekirala, waliwo famire z'otuukamu abaana bano mwe bava nga n'abazadde bennyini beetaaga kuyamba. Okitegedde? N'ekirala nti abaana bano mukadde we bajjira awulira nga yandiyagadde addeyo eka mu wiiki eyo yennyini, kuba obulamu alaba nga takola ki, tabusobola, naye lwakuba nti tewali kye bayita oba rehabilitation ssaawa eno gy'aba alina ossookeramu mukadde ako n'aba nga ayanirizibwa. Okitegedde? N'ekirala, abantu ennaku zino ebyenfuna, abaana bano bagenda ne baviirwako bakadde baabwe nga balina bye babalekera, naye ate bano ne batandika obbalowooleza mu byenfuna, ate omwana ye kyatali, so nabo bakoze kyamaanyi nnyo. Ekirala, bajjajja nabo mu kusosola mu bazzukulu, osanga maama ng'ayagala bazzukulu b'omwana omuwala naye nga bazzukulu b'omwana omulenzi tabeetaaga. N'ekirala, poverty. Okitegedde? Poverty. So zezo challenge ezisinga okuleeta abaana bano ku nguudo.
Amanya gange bampita Muwanguzi Samuel. Ekindeese wano ngende maaso ziremu. Amanya gange bampita Muwanguzi Samuel nga nkola n'ekitongole kye bayita Benjamin House Ministries kiri Kampala. Basically tujja abaana ku street ne tubatwala ne basoma ebyemikono. Tubamaliza osoma ebyemikono ne tukola family restoration okufollowing abaana bavaawa. So tuzze tulaba ebbanga ddene abaana abasinga betujja ku street bava Embaale. Netubuuza lwaki. So okugenda okufinding out nti Embaale nti bitongole bitono ebiyamba abaana okubajja ku street. Nti abaana abasinga baddukira Kampala okufuna obuyambi nti so kino ensonga lwaki twavaayo enteekateeka ebeerayo buli mwaka omwezi ogwokuna okubeera nga last year twali Jinja ne tu celebrating luno olunaku era ne tubaako abaana betuyamba. So kino kiyongera okubeera nga tu increasinga n'oku inspiring abalala kumanya nti tuyambe bano abaana basookole ki basoove ku street. Ife ebisinga obbanyiga stories nyingi, kati story emu gye nsobola okuwaako nti wali omwana eyamba story nti maama we taata we yafanga bapangisa ne babagoba mu nnyumba kati ng'asula ku lubalaza ne maama we kati abasajja nga bakozesa maama we n'adduka ewaka ku lw'ensonga eyo nga tayagala kubeera ng'alaba ekigenda mu maaso kye bakola maama we. So naga nti okusinga okubeera nga nyinza okukola ekintu ekikyamu kanziruke ewaka nti n'ekirala ba step mothers abasajja abasinga era nze ndi musajja w'embaale kino nkivumirira abasajja abasinga embaale basusiza okuwasa abakazi abangi te nga tebalina busobozi bwa kulabirira abaana baabwe ne bamaliza nga bali kuki bamaliza nga bali ku street. So bataata mwena abali mumanye omwana gozaala ogenda so omulabirira okusinga okumuleka ajja abonabonere ku street kati omwana ngono mwana muto myaka 5 myaka 6 ali ku street abonerera. So ekyo mbadde mbasaba abazadde mufeeyo eri baana bammwe kubanga mubazaala nga tukimanyi nti musobola obbalabirira. So njagala kwebaza nnyo abakulembeze, njagala kwebaza Mbale Express TV y'okubeera nga esobodde okubeerawo mu media zonna gye ndabyemu esobodde okuba negamba nedda n'abaana naffe tubalaba bano baana baffe katujje tukavaringa stories zino era nebaza nnyo Mukama abampeera omukisa.
From your interaction with these children, what are some of the key issues that are keeping them on the streets? Let's start for you.
One thing I've learned is most of these children, the issues they are raising, it is stemming from home. The family violence and mostly child abuses at home. The different forms of child abuses at home makes them run away from home. The domestic violence, a father fighting the mother all the time, and in that way there's no provision of food or whatever, you find a child running away from home. There are also those I've learned from here, there are those who ran away from home simply because a child was sent to the shop and then dropped the money on the way. That child also, instead of getting back home, just decide to run away from home. And for us, we are encouraging them, no, this is not fair. You have lost money, get back home and explain, because life in the street is not the best. But home, there is no punishment home that you can compare with life in the street. That's the message we are giving them.
As police, you have a department of family protection unit.
Yes.
What are you doing to mitigate some of these issues?
We have child and family protection unit. We normally do tracing. We trace the parents and we do a reunion. We normally reunite them. There are those who are willing. They come home, say, I need to get back to my parents. And like here, we also identified some of them who wants to get back home. And we are going to take it up together with the Child and Family Protection Unit. We make sure that we, together with the community liaison officer, they trace for the parents, and then we ensure that these kids are reunited with the family, because they are becoming a challenge. The number is rising every day in the street, and when you find out what is the problem is coming out from our home setting, and therefore we need to do a deliberate kind of effort to ensure that the problem is addressed straight away from home.
The children mentioned of being not handled well when they go to police report several cases. As police, what are looking at? What is your take on this issue?
First of all, a child ending up in the street, they don't know avenues of reporting, where we should report. This has happened, where should I report? We have just been encouraging them that one other place you can report to, your immediate neighbor. Report to immediate neighbor. The LC system, you can also report to LC and then the LC executive before you get to police. You can also go direct to police so that you find help. It is our interest that a child is protected. There is no way a child is reported to police and then that child fails to get attention.
Mbale is seen as a city almost surpassing Kampala, the number of children.
Ekyandikoleddwa okendeeza omujjuzo gw'abaana ku nguudo mwetagamu omukono gwa gavumenti, because nze mmanyi nti gavumenti kye kitongole ekitalemererwa, nti okuvaayo kikkirize ebitongole ebirala ebyagala okuyamba babiwandiise. Waliyo abantu abagala okuyamba naye nga tebamanyi watuufu wakukola ki, wakutandikira. So nti nze nsaba gavumenti eweeyo because erina obusobozi. Bano abaana abasinga balina talent ya mikono bitone naye nga abasinga tebali interested kusoma naye nga balina basobola skills nga ate balina ebitone. Yes. Wangi? Webale nnyo. Naye n'ekirala nze nja kwebazaako ekitongole ekimu ekiri opposite IU primary Manju ng'ono omusajja bamuyita Bambu. At least yavaayo buli mwaka najja n'agamba screening y'abaana nga 10 abeetegefu okuyiga bandi nga beetegefu okulekulira obulamu buno. Era oyo akoze kyamaanyi nnyo asinga omuntu azze naawe omwana ono essente ate n'amuleka bulesaawo. Byebyo byange.
Brother Dominic, yes, welcome to Mbale Express TV.
Thank you.
Would love you to give us a background of why we have an influx of street children on our streets in Mbale City.
Thank you very much. My name is Wanzira Dominic. I am the Senior Probation and Social Welfare Officer from Mbale City. We are grappling with the increasing number of children on the street, basically because of a number of issues, but I'll be able to only highlight some. One is lack of responsibility among the parents. I think parents, guardians, caregivers, relatives have lost the morality of taking care of their children and their responsibility of looking after the children. And as a result, we have children who have ended up on the street. For you as a parent, if you are not concerned about the absence of your child in your home, that is already a red sign that you are not taking your responsibility seriously. In other words, you are an absent parent. So that is one of the major reasons why we are having children on the street. The other one, of course, is the increasing numbers of domestic violence. Parents are conflicting in homes, mothers and fathers, because of domestic fighting. So because of that, there are broken families as a result of domestic violence. People have separated, so you find a man living alone or a mother who lives alone with the children. Now, this becomes slightly hard for some of these parents, and the children end up running away from their homes. The other thing also is there is also laxity. There's also laxity in our administration at our local level. I think the LOCs are not doing enough to quickly identify that so and so children in their village are the ones who have run away to the street. Because I mean, you as a chairperson of the village, you should be in a position to know all your households. And then you should be able to question, but there were children in that home, what happened? So there's also laxity in our administration, especially from the cell level. That should also account for the increased number of children on the streets. Of course, there are also other pull factors. Some of these children run here because, but it still comes back to responsibility. They run here because they can easily find something to eat in town. So parents are not providing food for their children. Parents are absent from their children. Parents are not responsible. Guardians are not responsible. That is why we are having this increased number of children on the street. Then we also have the traffickers. There are people who are trafficking children, promising them to come and give them work or to bring them to earn money in town. That's where we have this number also of the children increasing because of child trafficking.
So there's no way we should meet you, but we ensure that you are what?
Well, for us as an office, we have had engagements over time. Among them, we believe in rescue, rehabilitate, and then reintegrate. We have done this in partnership with our partners like CRO, Shepherd Uganda, where we have had to reach out to these children, identify the ones who are willing to go back home. We have been able to get them, take them through a short period of rehabilitation, and then eventually reintegrate them in their homes. It is quite slow because we are constrained in terms of resources, and for now we are working with CRO because they have a transit center which helps us to recover these children, rescue them from the street, take them through the transit center as we do the tracing of their parents and their guardians or caregivers.
Who is the judge?
One of our critical future plans is we are passing an ordinance of children on the street. That ordinance is going to give us the mandate to arrest, first of all, trace, arrest and charge the careless parents or caregivers or guardians who have abandoned their responsibility of looking after children, hence leaving the children to end up on the streets. 2, we are also doing an ongoing rescue and rehabilitation, of course, like I said, with partners, CRO, Shepherd Uganda, and many other partners who are on board. And therefore we call upon many other partners to come on board and support us as we rescue these children from the street, take them through a period of rehabilitation, then we can reintegrate them with their families. Now, those that we cannot be able to reintegrate with their families, we have organizations like Jenga and CRO, which are Shepherd, and also Shepherd 23, which are providing skills, life skills, to some of these children, so that at the end of it all, they are given a small package and they can start life. My name is Wanzira Dominic. I am the Senior Probation and Social Welfare Officer from Mbale City.
Manya gange wetaka sawa. Ekisinga nnyo okuddusa waka abazadde baffe basobola kubeera nnyo bakambwe nnyo, bali basobola kubeerawo abava ku bbaala nga batamidde ne bakukuba, baliwo bali ababba waka ne batolokayo, naye bali ne babeerawo bali nabo abakola emisango ng'ejjaawo, naye babeerawo bali abazadde baabwe batagala okubawa emmere, nabo ne batolokayo waka. Kati ekyo ekiviirako omwana okujja ku street. Nze ekyanzijja waka, nze navaayo bubi okujja okunyumira obulamu bwa street. Buliwo bwa waka sobola kubeera nga tebakuwa emmere oba nga bakukubiriza nnyo n'obyesanywa n'ovaayo. Manya nsigadde nga wetaka Sam. Nze kati nasalawo mbeera kusyalawo nsoma. Naye waka nzirayo, banzizaayo waka, nembeera nga maze ebibuuzo, nembeerako waka okuddamu okusomero nenkomawo. Batubeera ku street batukuba nnyo emigo oba obulwadde bubeerawo obutukwata. Ensekere weekulya nnyo weetakula nnyo oba onywanya amafuta nga gakutwala nnyo, kati awo osobola kubeera nga totereera bulungi.